Welcome back, everybody, to In the Loop. Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of In the Loop. My name is Michael Burpo, and I'm joined by Cody from the Smithy Group and Katie from Punchmark. And we're talking about digital marketing in your pocket. And what does that mean? It's the little tools and tips that we take advantage of that are probably under $20 to $15 a month. It really will take a little bit of the weight off of whoever's running your social media account. We get into the ones that we prefer, as well as what's kind of on the table and what's actually free. So be sure to listen and stick around till the end and make sure that you take notes. This episode is brought to you by Punchmark, the jewelry industry's leading website provider. Join the community of nearly 500 other jewelry stores in choosing Punchmark's easy-to-run and e-commerce enabled website platform by visiting punchmark.com for your free trial demo. And this episode is brought to you by the Smithy Group, a digital growth agency that helps leaders and businesses dream bigger and achieve multi-generational integrity. Through insights and intelligence, digital marketing, and advertising solutions, they help businesses expand their business and grow their revenue. The Smithy Group has helped hundreds of businesses surpass their goals and believe that whatever your business, whatever your story, they will make it matter to your audience. Thanks. Enjoy the show. Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of In the Loop. I'm joined again by Cody Giles from the Smithy Group, Katie Kinlaw from Punchmark. My name is Michael Burpo, again, Punchmark. So we're going to be covering sort of some analytics and some tools that you can use right from your phone, or even just like easy plugins off your website. A couple things that you should be paying attention to so your digital marketing is going as well as possible. But before we jump into it, I want to say a very special thank you to Podium for making this all happen and sponsoring us. You'll hear a little bit more from them later on in the episode. But in the meantime, give me let's start this off basic. What do you guys think about social media? Go. Open up the can.
Wow.
That's such a loaded question, Mike. I mean, just rip off the Band-Aid first thing.
Is it poisoning us? Is it poisoning our children too?
It's tough. Hey, it's tough, right? I think especially, and I'm sure Cody will probably relate, and we've mentioned this kind of in other prior episodes in season 1, is it literally takes over your entire life. So I myself, as a digital marketer, as someone that also does ads on social media, I don't like having a curated feed for myself personally. It's just too much stress, and I can't even scroll naturally without thinking, taking a screenshot of an ad or making a mental note of certain things. So I think from my perspective, it's a little toxic because I can't even relax when I'm on social media, which is the whole purpose of relaxing, connecting with people. My mind is just work all the time. So for me, that's personally how I feel.
Katie, we have to connect in that if you're scrolling and you accidentally click something, you just freak out because you're like, no, I don't want the advertiser to know I clicked that. Don't remarket to me. I didn't mean to do that. You're very aware of that. Social media, how great is it that we can connect with people around the world in a matter of seconds? It's so great.
Sometimes.
At the same time, how dangerous can it be, or has it been? It's a double-edged sword, 100%.
I have had a roller coaster with social media, man. I really got to be honest. I shut my social media down I've done it, I think, 3 different times. I've turned off my Facebook. I've turned off my Instagram before for a year, sometimes 2 years at a time. And the reason why is for me, well, we're getting way into the weeds on this thing. I promise I'll pull us out. But I think that social media is it's full of these micro interactions, if you know what I mean, where sometimes I think that a lot of my my high school buddies, or even my high school or my college buddies, they think that sending me a meme is a good replacement, or DMing me a meme is a good replacement for a catch-up conversation, which, we can have that argument. I don't really think it is. I think that it's, sometimes you got to talk to people or text with them, or even just get something going. And some of these times these people think that sending each other back and forth memes for 4 years since I graduated, that is a good way to stay in touch. And I'm like, is it though? And that's kind of where I stand with it. But it has been really good I do fine art watercolor paintings, and it is the number one way I get commissions is people see my work, they like my style, and then they hit me up and they have me paint stuff for them. So I can't complain too much, but I will also say if I was a parent with a young kid, I really don't know when I would let them on. I haven't had that thought for myself. I'm only 26, so I don't really know. What do you guys think?
It's interesting. You can't deny the power of social media and how many people are on the platform.
Can't.
So I don't want to take away from that if we say anything negative about the platform, and that we are advertisers and we're on the platform every day. So
absolutely,
we do have these intricate thoughts of what we think are on the platform. When you bring kids into it, it's very tricky. You want to me, if I have kids, I want to hold them off from that as long as possible, just from the standpoint of what it fosters in terms of what they think they should, and body positivity and all these other factors that play in psychologically that social media has had an impact on. That's where I think as a parent, you have to consider and weigh those options.
Yeah. And I think too that there's kind of a breakdown between personal use for Facebook or social media, Instagram, things of that nature versus from a business perspective. I think you have to look at it from both sides of the coin, from consumerism versus a societal component of it too. Because I definitely agree that even I myself, certain vernacular that I've picked up, or, just kind of parts of the culture that you kind of get and consume from social media kind of naturally seeps into your everyday life. And it is a way to connect with people, especially when, we can't really gather in person. I think that that's definitely a really great component of it too. And from a business perspective, from an advertiser's standpoint, I mean, it's great. You have all of the capabilities at your fingertips to be able to gather all of that demographic data. But as a personal user, you are then sacrificing that data for the ability to connect with people, share memes, look at videos, things of that nature. So it's a balance.
So really quickly, let's talk. We covered this in I believe our Facebook episode, which was back in season 1, but let's talk about it right now. What sort of demographic data can you actually touch upon? Because I feel like a lot of people might be surprised by how much and how granular you can target using a lot of these platforms, Facebook, Instagram, Google, really anything.
Yeah, so when you think about it, as you're making your profile and you're selecting, your gender and your age and all these other variables, all of that input is an output for an advertiser, or that's data that I can use to advertise to you. It goes beyond just what you do when you initially make your profile to, if you say you're in a relationship, I can target you based on that. We obviously have location data. So at a core, you have any of these actions that you're taking or what you're specifying about yourself on your profile that can be used for targeting. Beyond that, you get into interest targeting. So then as you're engaging with the platform and as you're interacting with different content, Facebook's looking at that content and then matching you back with certain interests. So then I know if you've started to like engagement rings and you visited profiles that feature engagement rings, well, then more than likely Facebook's going to put you into an engagement ring bucket as an interest. As an advertiser, I can use that and start showing you relevant products based on that interest. So there's a lot that can happen within the platform. And then even recently we have changes with Apple and the way tracking is going to work within apps and with Facebook. And that's been in the news a lot recently. So that's starting to impact the way that advertisers can target users based on what they're doing. So Apple's maybe trying to take a little bit of the reins back and saying, we just want to let people have a choice if they want to be tracked or not. Facebook has different thoughts around that, obviously, because it impacts their ad model, but it can go into a very deep hole.
Yeah, very different thoughts. So just to clear that up, Apple, with this new iOS, they switched from a opt-out to an opt-in model, which means you're not in the data collection service, I guess, until you actually toggle that on. And Facebook, that's what their whole business platform is based off of. And they're saying, you guys are going to gut like a lot of what we make our bread off of. So I guess maybe we can also talk about what role is the social media, before we get into these tools, what roles is social media actually supposed to play for these businesses? I feel like people get way too caught up in follower count, and they kind of are missing some of they're throwing the baby out with the bathwater on a lot of these things. What do you think?
Yeah.
That's a good term.
That is a good term. Yeah. In terms of like the use of social media, and the different components there, I think that you can break it down pretty basic in terms of, gaining a community. Yes, followers I think are important to some people, but I think it's more about quality versus quantity, and really making sure that you're curating a safe space. You have the right brand voice. You're communicating with your customers that are interacting with you. That's the most important piece, is to have an engaged audience, posting the right content, having the right messaging, brand voice. And then from the other side of things, utilizing it through paid advertising, being able to push specific campaigns during specific peak seasons. I think utilizing both of those pieces together and growing organically and curating that community, as well as being able to generate traffic to your site, through the times in the year that you need it the most.
Yeah. So what kind of, I think we did cover this a tiny bit when we did the what should you post, or what should I post on my social media episode, which I think was really well received. There are some tools that makes it so you don't have to pull out your phone and freaking send that thing right now. What kind of tools do you guys find are the best?
Yeah, I think the best one from an organic standpoint that we use is Later. So Later is an app that lets you actually curate your content and prepare it in a schedule to then post out. So one of the biggest things that we hear from retailers, even people in the industry, as we're just talking to them, if they're saying, I don't know what to post, or they're trying to take it day by day, and they're just thinking, they wake up, what do I post today? So we really recommend a platform like Later. So when you do have that block of time where you have a couple hours to sit down and think about what you want to post, you can write out all of your content, capture all of your images, put this into a grid where it looks really nice and you can see what it's going to look like in your feed. And then you're able to schedule all those posts and they go up automatically. So you spend a couple hours thinking about it for the week or for the month, you set it in place and it's ready to go and you don't have to think about it. So everything's handled from that side. And also has great abilities to actually look at the engagement that you're getting and start recommending the best time to post. So even beyond just posting for you, there's analytics tools that you can take advantage of to help you get better engagement. And it can recommend post at X, Y, and Z time on a particular day. That's going to help you get the most engagement, which is important because if you're spending a lot of time crafting out the content, you want to make sure that you're able to maximize it as much as possible. So the in-app analytics is a great feature to help even a normal person that doesn't have a lot of experience with social media be able to really take advantage of a lot of the tools and maximize their engagement on their profile.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that too. And I think to kind of throw a competitor to that particular kind of platform too is Hootsuite is another one that I've used personally too that has a lot of the same capabilities in terms of, implementing all of your content, scheduling posts. It also has some really cool tools in terms of keyword or hashtag research as well. So I think that it's important to kind of do the research, see what capabilities you need. But Later is great. I've used that before. Hootsuite is another one that can kind of help complement in terms of your organic strategy, getting all up there and really, not just set it and forget it, but just to optimize your workflow there for sure.
Mm-hmm. I think if you're not careful, you can, if you're doing things in real time, you're actually posting things from your phone. And I do that for some of, both my accounts. I also can say that it can become like your mind is, as a slave to the social media account where you have to think about it on the reg. Say you're posting, daily or even every other day. You have to think every other day. All right, is it 2:00 yet? I need to be posting this later. We used that when we were working with the Smithy group on a couple of social accounts. I really liked it because you could just do everything the month ahead of time. You set it up and then you just walk away and then it's done. So I think that was way better.
Well, you think about somebody too. Let's just say you are at a jewelry store and one particular person is in charge of the social, but they're also on the sales staff, right? If they know, hey, I need to post at this time every day, well, what if they get taken with a customer? And it's so easy for that to slip off because if you're in the store and you're with a customer, that sale is most important. Or on the flip side, if you're doing it every day, then you get to a day and you don't know what to post. I'll just wait till tomorrow. Well, then tomorrow pushes to the next day and the next day. So it's really easy to fall off that rhythm. And that can be challenging for the algorithm. If it sees that you don't have really consistency or you haven't developed a pattern, you don't necessarily get favored for the algorithm. So having that tool just so you can schedule things in advance it's such a key tool to be able to stay on track and to really make sure you're taking advantage of social media in the way that you should be.
Guys, this actually ties into who our sponsor is, so we're just going to cut away in just 1 second, but I think it also, reviews are a really important thing. I know that I look at them whenever I am shopping online especially for I hate the term mom and pop shop, but I think whenever I shop something that isn't Amazon, I am looking at reviews, especially if I'm a first time buyer, and I know that Podium can help you out, so stick around and listen. Our clients know that it doesn't matter how great your website is if people can't find it. Podium helps you get found and chosen by making it easy to get reviews from your happiest customers, just by sending a simple review request through text. In fact, with Podium, every step of your customer journey is powered by text messaging, so you can talk to your customers on the channels they prefer. Start the conversation on your website with Podium Web Chat. Set appointments, answer questions, and close deals all in the same thread. When it's time to pay, just send a request over text so your customers can pay in seconds. And now that you've got a happy customer, send them a review invite over text too, so you can rise up the local rankings and start the cycle all over again. With all of this, plus powerful integrations and features in one consolidated inbox, Podium is your tool for customer communication. Send a text, get more done. Punchmark clients will receive 25% off when they sign up for Podium. Learn more at podium.com/punchmark. Thanks, back to the show. All right, everybody, we're back with more tools for your social media presence. We were just talking about Podium a second ago, and I definitely think that there's a lot more to reviews than I think that a lot of people let on. I think we're probably going to touch on this when we do get to later episodes and actually talk to these first-time buyers or Gen Z people. I'll be really interested to hear how they read reviews. But for me, I'm always looking for things like attention to detail or on time. Those are the types of reviews that I'm looking for. And it sounds like Podium is like the turnkey solution to that kind of thing. But anyways, Katie, anything else for you?
Yeah, so I think that I would absolutely agree. If you had to choose between all of the tools at your fingertips, really prioritizing something that would allow you to schedule posts out, I think is going to be your best bet. If you have more kind of budget bandwidth within your kind of marketing dollars to allocate towards tools, and I'm not talking a ton of money, maybe $20-$30 a month, there are a couple other pieces that I would recommend. Ahrefs is another one that is a little bit more robust. I think for people that are really interested in hardcore digital marketing, I would say it's more on the intermediate to advanced side of things. It has a ton of really great research information in it specifically, but there's one individual report that I really enjoy. You can put in a specific keyword and it'll generate all of the related pieces of content on the internet that actually performed the best for that specific keyword. So it can help you not only understand the types of posts, landing pages, blogs, and it'll even list, where it came from, whether it's from social, whether it's a landing page itself. It'll kind of break it down for you specifically. And so you can see around related topics what's performing the best. And I'm not saying that you should take someone else's idea, take someone else's content, but
take inspiration from someone else's content.
Right.
Inspiration.
Right. I mean, you don't have to reinvent the wheel is my point. So if you're really looking for more in-depth research around what's working for other people, I think there's a lot of really cool tools there as well. From a social standpoint, there's also tons of like SEO data in there, keyword research, all of that good stuff. But that's for another episode. So Ahrefs is great for that kind of research. And then I think we were also going to mention Canva as well. And that's something that I even personally utilize in my day-to-day, whether it's through, I guess I should explain what Canva is.
Yeah.
So Canva is similar to like PicMonkey. So it's an online platform that allows you to create graphics. It has a lot of really cool templates already that's kind of built into the platform. So you can even filter templates by like Facebook posts, Instagram posts, things of that nature. So that's really cool. So I think it's just a handy way of like, if you're not sure what graphic to go with, what kind of post, there's tons of different backlogs, templates, things of that nature. So I think that that's a great tool, especially if you're not as familiar with Photoshop, and I'm pretty comfortable in Photoshop, not nearly as much as Mike is as the master designer. But I can do okay. I can do okay in Photoshop. But for me, for ease, for the amount of kind of ads, email graphics, even creating and resizing images for landing pages, Canva is something that I utilize in my everyday work life, and I think is really great.
Canva is such a great one for people that think, if I need to make a graphic, I don't know Photoshop, so I'm pretty limited. But really, you can use Canva and create graphics that can be competitive with Photoshop and capabilities. I mean, obviously, Photoshop goes way advanced into it, but any kind of basic editing that you want to do, Canva's a great option. And the templates are so perfect just to be able to select the template and it's already sized exactly how you need it. That way you don't go and post it and the dimensions are completely wrong and it looks off compared to what you were thinking. So definitely Canva's a great one. Another one that I have from a content perspective is called Mojo. I'm a Mojo fanboy. So this is an app. You can download it for iOS or Android. Mojo lets you create really nice Instagram stories or vertical graphics. The platform actually has tons and tons of templates. Mike, whenever you were talking about Podium and reviews, I got really excited because Mojo has a great review template. So you can click the template and you can put in your own review that you received and then be able to post that on your social. I think reviews, like retailers get reviews a lot, but how do you actually leverage that? What do you do with it?
Yeah.
It lives on Google. It lives on Facebook. They've said what they've said, but what about this great review? I need to take that and actually turn it back out into the marketing that I'm going to use for potential customers. So we've used Mojo a lot to kind of take the incoming reviews, drop them into a nice template, has some movement and some graphics to it, put in a new picture, and then you can post that back out. So it's a really amazing way to get very professional looking Instagram stories that look like they come from a large brand that spent a lot of time in Photoshop or After Effects creating these same templates, and it's less than $10 a month. So Mojo, definitely check it out. I wish we were sponsored. I could give a promo code, but
My God. Yeah, that's worth us mentioning that all of these kind of name drops and plugs and everything, Podium sponsored this episode, but all the rest of them, we recommend them, and Podium we recommend because we actually have used them and that we think that they're good. The rest of them aren't paying us any money, so we just thought we would just kind of give you guys some tips as well from what we've learned. Anything else, guys?
I think that's it from my side.
What about this giveaway program? We've had some talk about maybe doing a giveaway related to In the Loop. I think that's a really good idea because I love giveaways and I'm going to enter and I'm going to see if I can win whatever we're going to give away. What is this Rafflecopter?
Yes. So Rafflecopter, I put this on the list to talk about. It is a giveaway platform. Essentially, it's the host for a giveaway. So you can go to rafflecopter.com and you can sign up for an account and you create all the specs for your giveaway. So if we're going to give away, let's say a $250 Amazon gift card, we go through there, we put what the giveaway is, and then we start putting what the rules are to enter. So I want to get someone's email address and XYZ other questions. I set those up. I can set up additional parameters. So if I want to give people extra entries to follow us on Instagram or like us on Facebook, I set up all those requirements. Once I've set all the parameters up for the giveaway, then I can either use a link and it can go to rafflecopter.com/mygiveaway. People can enter there, or I can actually extract an embed code and put that on my website. Then if once on the website, someone can go to thesmithygroup.com, they can see the form, it lives directly on my website, and that's how someone can enter. Rafflecopter is a great tool because it maintains all the entries in real time. You can see all the updates. It keeps all that data, and at the very end, it can help you select a winner. That way, there's no fishy business happening. It handles it from the beginning to the end.
Very cool.
And what I like about it as well is once you set up the parameters, it can help you with terms and conditions. That's a big thing with giveaways. There's so many legal requirements for that. So once you set up your account and you set up the variables, it can help you kind of pull that over into a template. So you know from a legal perspective that you're covered for a giveaway that you want to host.
Man, I want to do a giveaway for In the Loop. I hope we're done a little bit of talking about maybe giving away like a pair of AirPods or something like that. And I think that is a really good idea. So stay tuned for a little bit of information about that. We'll probably come out with something.
Stay tuned.
Guys, I think that we spent a little bit of time in the beginning talking about social media, and I think it's worth us just throwing something in at the end, and that we totally understand if you rely on social media for your business, if you also abstain from using social media out of protest or you just don't like it or you don't have time for it. We also understand that as well. When it comes from a business, I feel like if you want your business to do as well as possible, you need to be pulling all the bells and whistles, especially in today's day, especially now that everything is so online heavy. I do think that you kind of need to be pulling all the different pieces out. And one of those pieces is social media because, I mean, think about how often you use social media. I mean, I use it all the time. I hate how much I use it. But in the end, I'm getting dope friggin' ads retargeted to me about, new pairs of Nike kicks and new pairs of new sweatshirts. And like I looked for chef knife one time. I still get chef knife advertisement. I already bought one. And it's amazing the quality of these advertisements. And it's like, at a certain point, I almost don't even hate the advertisements because the marketing material that they use is aesthetically pleasing. And I think that that's kind of the hurdle you have to get over it with is you need to make sure your advertisements are not a drawback of the platform. It can almost kind of add to it. Am I off with saying that?
Can you imagine just how true this is? I watched TV last night, and you watch TV, you see just ads for everything, and how just annoying that can be compared to if I'm on my feed, almost every ad that I see is directly relevant for me. Such a difference in experience, and how now, truthfully, all of us, we're probably more frustrated that the ad isn't appealing to us directly compared to anything else. Like, we know that you have all this data, you have all of our information, so the ads need to be relevant, and we're more annoyed whenever they're not relevant.
Right. Just kind of a side tangent there too. You know what I absolutely despise from a consumer perspective is when you're on YouTube, right? I'm sure you guys have all experienced this, and it's like, take the survey, or it gives you like a choose your own adventure for advertisements. I don't want to. I want you to already know my demographics. Give me something that makes sense. I don't want to do a choose your own adventure. This is not Goosebumps. Like,
yeah.
Let's, something that makes sense for me. So that's just my personal opinions on that kind of situation. But it's a necessary evil. It has its pros and its cons. But I would agree that having as specific as possible to the individual user, I think it can be a value add versus something that's, takes away from the platform.
Just like I was home for a little while with my parents and they watched the nightly news. And it seems like every single advertisement's for like, do you have mild to severe Crohn's or colitis? And I'm like, oh my God. Can you believe that this advertisement, they're paying all this money to pay Prime TV and it's not even applicable to me? Can you believe that? And then you go on, I pull up my Instagram and legitimately 90% of the time, I don't even know that it's an ad. I just think it's a post from an account that I follow. And it's like, That's how you do it right. Like, not this stupid, marketing on TV to just get the masses. It's like, is someone watching that has moderate to severe colitis and Crohn's? I mean, probably. But it is the nightly news. But also, when you think it'd be better if it was like an advertisement that was personalized to me about some like Nike kicks, because then I might actually convert on it. But I don't know where we're going with this.
Traditional versus digital. It's
exactly. There you go.
Right. I mean, maybe if they were Adidas, maybe not Nikes. Maybe if they were Adidas.
Oh my God.
We're getting way off track now.
Checks over stripes, baby. Checks over stripes. All right, let's wrap this thing up. Thank you, everybody, for listening to this episode of In the Loop. A very special thank you to Cody and Katie for joining me. A very special thank you to Podium for sponsoring this episode and making it possible. Thank you to Punchmark for bringing this on, as well as the Smithy Group. We'll be back next week, next Thursday, another episode. I think that it's with Katie and Cody again. And again, my name is Michael Burpo. Thank you guys for listening to In the Loop. See you next week. Bye.